You can't go live, just go.
If that's what you really want, you can be anything you want. Winner, never a loser. Gorilla talk, ooga booga booga. Scuba, tuba, diver, armor, rider. Getting cider, sweet like cider. Fighter, rider. Neither wants to get it. Going, know it, hold it, fold it. Seen it with.
So you know this player's done. Hit the club, got chose like it's nothing. Mathematician when it come to getting numbers. I'm screaming, I feel like money. Why? Bucks fear the deer, and like a player must be pure, must be clear. So let me drop this knowledge in your ear, I'm driving your chick, fear the deer. I'm feeling.
Live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Do you and live your best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Where you from? Who you with? Are you unplugged? Are you equipped? I do my thing, stay legit. In this world, no one's innocent. VIP, get bottles. One snap of my fingertips. See these haters like blah blah blah, blah blah blah, talking gibberish. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Do you and live your best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Rolling SUV. Rolling with my homies. Rolling SUV. Rolling with my homies. I'm going to live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm going to live my best life. Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? I'm going to live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm going to live my best life. Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? Do you live your best life? I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. I'm gonna live my best life. Don't care if my head ain't right. Do you and live your best life. Don't care if my head ain't right.
Back to back like I was Stefan. Better yet, I'm Phil Jackson, so don't treat me like the next man. And I'm kind of a real big deal, so don't be out here second guessing. Anyway, I make my pay and live this California lifestyle. Sunshine, loud packs, and chicks that love to get wild. That's how we do it every day. Slipping, sliding through the traffic on a mission for the day. Clearing marks about my way. We ain't got no time for y'all today. And all the craziness y'all talk, but never get your story straight. See me out here living great. I don't give a about all that hates. And when it comes to kicking game, I give you all that you can take. Trying to do it big, got no complaints. Every morning eating steak. They say I'm wrong for showing out, but I'ma do it anyway. Plus and thing ain't nothing, bitch, cause I can do it any day. And it don't matter where I go, I always represent the yay. I'm so in love with this lifestyle. lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Boppers used to hate me, now they tell me I'm a tight now. Swagger through the roof, got everybody on my height now. So in love with this lifestyle. And I love it, and I love it, and I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. See me, I'm out here getting it and loving how I live. Best believe if I do something, I'm a stupid do it big. And this hustling is my gig, so don't you ask me what I stand for. Stacking while I'm macking, trying to earn myself a couple Lambos. Yeah, you know them toys for them big boys. Emperor of sorts and all you other players decoys. Meaning you're not the real deal. Keep an appetite for dollars that I never miss a meal. All you suckers need to chill. I'm just trying to stack a meal and pull the baddest bras around and love show they sex appeal. Little bit of Netflix, then we chill. Lose them clothes, keep on them heels. Working like a 9 to 5 and go right back to chasing skrill. I bring that real, never that phony. BS, y'all be stressing, put it down just like an OG. Perform these cookies, take flight. Some of y'all just out here acting. I'm a boss in real life. I'm so in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Boppers used to hate me, now they tell me I'm a tight now. Swagger through the roof, got everybody on my height now. So in love with this lifestyle. And I love it, and I love it, and I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Keep it more 100 than a C note. Hall of Fame spitting, representing with these pimp quotes. Don't try to front, you know this shit's dope. Question is, will I ever fail? My answer is no. I make this hustling look amazing. Put it down, doper than a blunt of purple hazing. Spicy on the mic, I bring the fire like a Cajun. Scoville's making haters sweat when I be blazing. Leaning to the side, haters everywhere. Yeah, I hear them talking, but they simply wasting air. Can't understand the reason that they stay in my affairs, but I'm major with my movements, getting money everywhere. I'm so in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. Boppers used to hate me, now they tell me I'm a tight now. Swagger through the roof, got everybody on my height now. So in love with this lifestyle. And I love it, and I love it, and I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now. And I love it, so in love with this lifestyle. And I love it, and I love it. So in love with this lifestyle. Anything I want, I say the word, I get it right now.
Just a smidge. Floyd just showed me this Elf on a Shelf video. It was so freaking funny. It was so freaking funny. Poor Elf on a Shelf. He's back on the sugar again. Poor guy. Best of luck to you, fellow elf out there. Gotta pull my ears down. We're doing Reddit ghost stories for this third hour. Also, welcome back, you guys. So sorry about the interference. Floyd was downloading a game. It's a big no-no when mom's doing her show. You can't be doing that shit, son. You can't be doing that shit, son. But yeah, he was totally cool, and he fixed it for me. So let me fix this. Let me fix my hatch. So this is under Reddit Ghost Stories, user /Relos, RALOS-001. Growing up, I always seemed to have some sort of connection to the spiritual world. My mother would tell me it started when I was 3. I would apparently wake up with bruises, and when she asked, I would say, it's the scary old lady who lives with us. I've grown more accustomed to seeing them now, but something odd happened last month. I was watching my baby sister when my mother was cooking dinner. She walked into the room and asked me if I had seen any ghosts recently. I found this strange because she would always tell me to not mention it or bring it up. Still, I answered truthfully, which was, yeah, I see them in the corner of my eye and sometimes hear people calling me when no one did. Why? She told me to forget about it and went back to cooking in the kitchen. I forgot about it after that until this week. When I'm out or at home, usually in the kitchen, I always have the feeling someone or something is watching me. I don't know if I should tell my mom or just shrug it off. I wasn't worried until yesterday when I was washing up and saw one of them standing right beside me. I was a little scared and jumped. As soon as I blinked, it was gone. I looked around the room and nothing. Nothing at all. So what do I do? Should I leave it or should I talk to my mom about this? The ghosts I usually see are shadow people, no identifiable features except their height. This one was about 5'6/5'7". Now this one is by u/snap_zoom. The controversy of the Graham Hancock controversy. There's a lot of controversy going on in this story, don't you agree? I have a buddy who loves Hancock and reads all his stuff. He told me about earlier civilizations and copper mines dating back and possibly far, etc. And I would always ask, so what's the point? And there wasn't much response other than to say historians and geologists don't believe the research and that it's fringe science. Now I have watched his documentary and it seems Hancock is carbon dating where possible, and it sure seems he is correct about ancient peoples around the world. It should be worth noting he's not claiming lizard people or giant sapiens or some weird alteration of any religion. Question: am I understanding this correctly? Hancock is just saying that human history goes back further than agreed upon? There are other sciences that amend and adjust the known facts as proofs and findings occur. Astronomy is a great example of this. There are examples that the last 20 years where astronomy has taken wild turns that are straight up mind-blowing. Why should geology be any different, or is Hancock really and truly full of shit? Hard to say. A lot of people full of shit out there that believe their own shit. Why should geology be any different, or is Hancock really and truly full of shite? And finally, as a curious observer, if Hancock is carbon dating these sites and the scientists he interviews are proving the dates using the scientific methods all the other scientists agree upon, what is wrong with his/their research? I am honestly trying to understand the controversy and the possible impact of his findings. Well, they found out a lot of things like dinosaurs and humans have been around longer than they were originally saying. Some interesting stuff happening. We're constantly learning. Really, there's a lot of stuff happening. We're learning more, growing every day. Keep on growing. So this one is by u/SR_R Smith. My theory on aliens. They are historians. Really? Aliens are historical beings? Yeah, I agree, Jason. They need to replace that modem. I am leasing the specific modem. And they just keep telling me, like, we have no control over which modem is sent to you. Really? What the fuck is your job? Anywho. Alright. So just a fun theory I was thinking about. What if aliens are simply historians? They could be indeed ourselves from the future traveling to the past to see how human life was and how certain historical facts really happened, recording it or even changing history to generate different storylines or history lines. This would explain certain sightings and big battles in history, some nukes not functioning, and the fact that they are sometimes visible but won't contact us, as a documentary team doesn't usually directly meddle with their subjects but may intervene to change what's happening on camera. Don't take this very seriously, it's just a playful idea. Next. 2022 was bananas. Recap here. Yes, it was bananas. My life ended and restarted several different times. This one is by you Raisin _ Brahms, BRAHMS. Cat avoiding deceased best friend's side of bed. Question. I have a question for you. Almost 3 weeks ago, my boyfriend died unexpectedly in his home. We lived separately. Before he passed, my cat would curl up and sleep on his side of the bed near his pillow when he wasn't there. Since then, he hasn't laid there once and has insisted on sleeping down by my feet. Normally, I would think it was due to the colder weather or to comfort me while grieving, but last night, he jumped from the nightstand completely over his side as if he was avoiding the whole area instead of just walking across the bed like he would normally do. Last night, I dreamt that we were doing mundane things like shopping together and spinning outside in the grass. It was the most realistic feeling dream I've felt since he died. Any other cat-related stories? I guess I'm desperately looking for signs that his spirit is still with me. Well, I've been testing my cats, I gotta tell you what, man. So it's been pretty interesting as far as like, cats can see and hear and respond to things that we don't generally see. And so when I vape, like, I don't do it in the house when the kids are here, but when they're at school, I will vape away. And the cats are just sitting there, like, watching the vape go across the room. So, like, when they're looking around, looking at something you can't see, I believe they're actually seeing something. They just have these amazing receptacles in their head that are way better than our freaking eyeballs. But yeah, I see stuff out of the corner of my eye all the time, and sometimes under and above my door, depending on the height of the ghost. We had one monstrous one in the hallway for a while. That was creepy. So this one is by you / unknown anonymous M. What does that mean? Oh, a man. Hello, like a me. Unknown anonymous man. Someone asked me to tell this story from my other post about my house's inner peeping ghost. I suffered from occasional sleep paralysis. When this happens, I wake up from what is usually a nightmare. Sometimes there's no nightmare, but can't open my eyes or move except to scream a muffled groan. I also feel an immense weight or pressure on my chest like people describe as something holding them down. This goes on for a few minutes until I can either snap out of it or my girlfriend rushes over to me to soothe and gently wake me up. This has happened a number of times over the years, but a couple instances in particular stand out. So, I was having an episode of sleep paralysis, but this night it happened twice, back to back. So I just fallen asleep, not 30 minutes, when suddenly my head started to buzz and vibrate. It also got very cold in this instance. Like other episodes, I couldn't move, but this time I could open my eyes. However, I couldn't see. It was like some visually impaired people describe as only being able to see out of their peripheral vision. It was just a blackness in the main view of my vision, paired with this headache-inducing vibration of my skull with the sound of a low-frequency boom of humming. Not a whole, unlike when you hear the deep bass hits in the music of the movie Inception, but just one note very low and very loud. This was terrifying because it's never happened like this before. Finally, see, this guy was really good in English class. First, then, finally. Yep, that's how you finish it up. I managed to wake up, get some water, tell my girlfriend about it, and attempt to fall asleep again. But it happened again. Same blindness, same humming, same symptoms. My girlfriend then had to shake me out of it this time. Needless to say, I wasn't able to go back to sleep until the following night out of exhaustion. The other incident was a night terror where I was haunted and hunted by a demon or witch. I felt sharp, long nails piercing into my chest, but I couldn't wake up. I couldn't wake up out of it and felt the pain of being impaled. But that's a story for another time. Really? You want to save that one for later? Let's do that one later, okay? This one is by u/g.trip. My co-workers hear something calling from the sea. It is killing them. These personnel entries, recorded by, redacted, or intended for research purposes only. Entries unrelated to the event have been removed. All materials found here are the sole property of Eventide Petroleum and are not authorized for reproduction. If any unauthorized person find themselves in possession of these documents, please contact the corporate office for a financial reward. Yeesh. We all need some money about this time of year. Am I right? Am I right? August 10th, 2021. The jumpers always looked so happy as they marched to their death. You could see their faces clearly from the dozens of security cameras on the deck. Satisfied smiles covered their faces as they bounded carelessly toward the edge of the platform. We've installed a higher railing system around the edges, but it only made them work harder to get over the top. Before they jump, their arms extend out as though they expect something to come from the sky and scoop them up like a mother would pick up a small child. After 1 or 2 minutes of holding their crucifixion-like pose, they fall toward and sail through the air until they make an impact with the churning water below. Suicides on oil rigs aren't common, but they aren't unheard of either. The rate for oil extraction workers is nearly twice the percentage of males in general population. At least that's what I read when I started researching this job. From what I've seen, it is drastically higher here. During my first month on the rig, I watched 2 men plummet to their death from the control room. Braxton and Garvin were their names. Happy guys as far as I could tell. Wife, kids, and nice houses to get back to after their rotations. Best job in the world, Braxton had told me the day we met. He pointed a finger out towards the endless blue waves that spread as far as we could see. No better view, for that matter. It's almost like the ocean sings to you every night, like it never wants you to leave. He never did leave. 20 days after we met, Earl Braxton and Jimmy Garvin leapt over the side of a rig during the night shift. Their bodies were never recovered. That's creepy. August 28th, 2021. We've lost 3 more men since I last had a chance to write. Derek Overton had only been on the rig for 6 days. Young guy, couldn't have been more than 22. It was his first offshore job and he had seemed so excited. He was a hard worker too. You ever hear anything weird when you're working out on the platform? He asked me one day. Sounds like there's someone out in a boat ringing. Probably just hearing things. Try to ask a few other workers up top, but I guess they're too busy to talk. A few of them told me I should wear earplugs, but I don't know. The sound of the waves is soothing, the singing noise too. I kind of enjoy it. That was 2 days before he jumped. Our night shift crew wasn't fast enough to stop him. They never are. Doyle Hargrove was an old-timer. He'd worked on Eventide rigs for over 30 years. According to the duty roster, he was due to rotate home next week. His psychological evaluation was top-notch. No history of mental illness. All of his crew said nothing seemed out of place. If anything, he seemed happier than he had in months. Just the same, Doyle threw himself over the side of the rig during the night shift. The 3rd death was a jumper. One of the motor hands, Alvy Spencer, was found standing near the edge of the platforms, arms outstretched, looking towards the sky. 2 roughnecks on the night shift saw him and managed to drag him back to the edge before he scaled the railing to fall into the dark. Alvy fought them tooth and nail as they pulled him toward the barracks. A few other men heard the commotion and came running to aid in the rescue. The motorhand punched and kicked everyone around him and scrambled to find a grip on the rig floor as they pulled him toward the bulkhead. That's wall for all you non-military peeps. The whole time he was just screaming the same thing over and over. Let me go! It's so beautiful, just let me go. Unsure of what to do, the rig manager had them secure Alvy in an empty storage room while they radioed the mainland crew. What's up, dude?
This vape.
Yeah, it's vaping cigar smoke. Get out of here. Get out of here, it's bad for your health.
Mom, wait.
No, I'm not. Can you say I'm reading a story here? Story time with me, TessaTNT. Come here, boy. I love you. You're my good boy. Not downloading more games, or else. Unsure of what to do, the rig manager had them secure Alvy in an empty storage room. Don't knock over my table, dude.
I'm trying not to.
While he radioed the mainland crew, they informed us they would send a helicopter to retrieve Alvy and take him in for a mental health evaluation. We were all relieved to have finally saved one. The celebration came too early. When we opened the storage room, Alvy Spencer swung from his belt secured to a pipe. Poor bastard. Thought we'd managed to save one. Wah, wah. Bye, Alvy. September 20th, 2021. Shit just keeps getting more and more strange around here. There have been no more jumpers, which is great, but corporate has made some odd changes. Our old rig manager was replaced with some sweet from corporate. He doesn't seem to have much experience in the field, has a strange way about him. He made a lot of changes, too. Yeah, you should get out of here. Go. Run! Run for your life! You're a good boy. Alright. See you soon. So, everyone who works outdoors on the rig has to wear earplugs during their entire shift. You guys ever heard of sirens? Maybe that's what's going on here. No exceptions. It wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's difficult to call someone over the loudspeakers with a wad of foam in their ears. Men have to work in two-man teams now, regardless of their position. If one goes to the bathroom, the other goes with them. They eat together, shower together. The only time you are away from them is when you go to bed. I don't know, wouldn't you spoon together too if you shower together? I don't know. You even have to fill out a daily observation report about your partner. The questions are weird. You figure it would be a productivity thing, but it isn't like that at all. Has your partner exhibited any odd behavior? Does your partner stare off into the distance frequently? Does your partner seem to hum or sing as they work? Have you noticed your partner spending too much time near the edge of the platform? There are also tons of signs posted everywhere on the rig saying we should report any strange thoughts or compulsions to our superior and supervisor. No telling what kind of weird stuff those poor bastards are hearing from the crew. It's almost an open invitation for bad jokes. I'm not sure what the hell is going on out here, but it may be time for a job change. My rotation is up on November 1st. I can't get here soon enough. October 17th, 2021. Working up on the deck has been a nice change of pace. We've been short on roughnecks lately, and I accepted pay bump to help out with the grunt work. Steve, my partner, doesn't follow me around too much, which has been pretty nice. We're both old-timers, so it wasn't too hard to work out an agreement to skirt a few of the new corporate rules. Those damn earplugs annoyed me too much, so mostly I just leave them out. None of the young bucks on the crew say anything about it. Most of them had started keeping theirs out too. Not hard to manage. The suits from corporate stay inside in the air conditioning. Gives us a free run of the place. I'm more relaxed than I've been in months. Braxton was right. The ocean does sing to you. Sometimes I close my eyes and it almost sounds like a woman. I can almost see here, down below the rig, floating between the white caps. She's beautiful. It's like she's singing just for me. What did I say? Sirens. Here we go. October 21st, 2021. Steve jumped from the platform yesterday. Not a good idea, Steve. We were doing a security check on the railing system around the edge of the platform. They had been hastily installed as the incidents increased, and the material wasn't holding up well against the salty sea spray. Bad news for the maintenance crew. Hey, Steve said to me as I was examining the bolts fastening the railing to the deck. I looked toward him and saw him pointing into the ocean. Look out there! Looks like a damned lady swimming in the water. It's 15 miles to shore and there isn't a boat in sight, Steve. Your eyes are playing tricks on you. No, he stated. Take a look for yourself. She's waving at us. I think I could hear her singing. Fucking sirens. There we go. Then I saw her, pale skin, dark hair, slender frame. She was bobbing up and down in the water. A long, thin arm waved above her head. She was too far away to make out any details of her face, but I couldn't help but think she would be the most beautiful woman I'd seen if I were a bit closer. A strange thought to have when you see a woman floating miles from shore, but it haunted my mind. We've got to get someone out there to help, Steve said. Run up to the office and tell the rig manager we need to get out there to help her. I ran as quickly as I could to the office and threw the door open like a bull in a china shop. It started the men inside, gasping for air. I told them there was a woman in the water, and I told them to follow me. We charged out of the office in the direction of Steve. By the time we returned, Steve was standing on top of the railing, arms outstretched. We shouted his name and ran toward him, but he never turned his head or acknowledged us. Just as we reached the bottom of the railing and began to climb up to retrieve him, he tilted over the edge and began to sail down. My eyes were wretched in horror. As Steve passed in front of my face, I caught a glimpse of his serene smile. October 30th, 2021. The rescue crew never found Steve or the woman we saw in the water. I feel like I'm going mad. I'm scared. I hate it here. The music still fills my ears. As I sit here on my bunk, layers of steel walls and bulkheads can't drown it out. It's maddening but oddly beautiful. I want to stop, but I also don't. I would probably sound so much better if I could get a bit closer. I wonder if the woman Steve and I saw was the one singing. I wonder if she is as beautiful as I think she is. Maybe she's still down there. She just needs help. I should help her. I'm going to see if I can spot her. I'll just stand by the rail for a while. Just for a minute. Not a good idea. Don't do it. Stay away from the sirens. They're bad. Oppenheimer wrongly stripped of security clearance, U.S. says. With so many holiday scratch games to choose from, you can give the gift of up to $250,000 to everyone on your list. That's a lot of scratch. Put up your holiday scratch games today. Ain't gonna do it, can't afford it. So this one is by babyfaced liar. I was about to say liar. My childhood ghost stories, part 1. I can vividly remember all of them. Every experience that I've had with paranormal is something you don't forget. The worst one that I think has ever happened to me was probably around Christmas. I remember being around 7 or 8 and living with my dad and his girlfriend, who had 2 kids at the time. Their relationship was the worst, and honestly, I think that she had some kind of spirit attached to her. What a wicked bitch. A wicked bitch of the West. Anyways, I remember laying down that night and turning on the Christmas lights that my dad had set up in my room. I've always been scared of the dark and even now sleep with a nightlight. I laid there and fell asleep. I was then woken up by the sound of my walk-in closet door slowly opening. It had this scary creaking sound to it that honestly made me want to cry every time I heard it. To this day, I know what I saw, and I, honest to God, know that I wasn't sleeping. I saw a man come out of my closet dancing. He was wearing black and white, and I swear to God, I was terrified. I started crying as quietly as I could and watched as he stopped at my door and looked at me. His eyes were bloodshot. I didn't sleep that night. I laid there in my bed crying for what seemed like an eternity, and when the morning came, I went to my dad and told him about it. My dad told me that I might have just been dreaming, to which I agreed and tried to forget about it. But I can't forget about that. How do you forget about seeing a tall 6' to 6'1" guy dance out of your closet and then stare at you before leaving down the hallway as if nothing happened? I don't know. Creepy. Yep, this is just a question. What do you think about near-death experiences? Pretty intriguing. Here's another one. What is the scariest thing you experienced during your vacation in a foreign country? My daughter just sent me something earlier. Let me pull it up really quick. It's about the Hat Man. I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with the Hat Man, but this certain feller that went overseas. Okay, here it is. Doo-doo. Rogers won't stop talking about... let's go back here. Go back! Won't stop talking about the Hat Man since his... Oh, she just sent me a cute video. Little Sunny Jim. Since his ayahuasca trip. Not much is known of the mysterious Hat Man except that Aaron Rodgers first started seeing the shadowy figure after his ayahuasca-fueled trips in Peru during the 2020 and 2022 off-seasons. Aaron says he will sometimes appear in the distance, usually veiled by darkness, holding the corpse of a dead rabbit and sometimes a blade. You bat rastard. I hate the Hat Man. He showed up here, like right outside of my office. The very same night he showed up at my daughter's house in Ignacio. She used to live in an old church, but yeah, that's fucking creepy. What the crack? Yeah, this is a video of a goat crying in the bush and then it runs off and it's like it doesn't have the front of its face. It's got everything else, but its little tuchus is missing. So this one is by you, Shrek Yeet Man. Shrek Yeet Man. Oop, don't yeet that out the window. I'm stuck in my room. So some backstory on this. I'm 27, I'm a male, and I live alone. About 3 days ago, I walked into my room. Big mistake now that I think about it. So I walk into my room and I start playing on my PC for about 30 minutes and I'm hungry. And I open the door, walk out, and I'm back in my room at my PC. I think I was daydreaming, so I try again. Same thing. I text my mom to come to my house and she calls back saying she is here and she was in my room. Only thing, she did not see me, so she thinks I am pranking her, so she yells at me until I send a picture. Only then does she believe me. Right now I'm hiding, typing on my phone. There is some four-legged thing. I will update if I come back. Update. It just ate my computer and my wires and my charger, so now I'm left with no charger, no PC, and at 37%. Hopefully I get out. Just looked out my window and saw nothing, just a void. I'm at 2%. Big update. I made it out. My mom was on my chair, crying and shocked to see I came out of nowhere. We called the police. They say there is nothing they can do. I don't know what happened. That's pretty creepy. Did anyone else's Excel bill increase about 200% this last month? Elon Musk SpaceX continues to detect something massive on its missions. That's creepy. What the fuck is out there? I know there's a lot of stuff out there, and I feel like a lot of the sightings that are going on with UFOs is happening like more rampantly. Like, and even the fleets are getting bigger as far as UFOs go. Pretty crazy stuff. Oh my goodness. Temporary continued postponement of public disclosure of such information is necessary to protect against identifiable harm to defense, intelligence operations, law enforcement, or the conduct of foreign relations that is of such gravity that it outweighs the public interest in disclosure. If they claim this about the JFK assassination, yeah, did you guys see that? Like, they actually probably put out a bunch of fucking redacted notes and stuff about the whole JFK assassination. Of course, they're saying Lee Harvey Oswald, he's the only guy that did it, although it's proven that there were shots coming from different directions. And they're also saying, oh, well, it also shows the government wasn't involved. Of course it does. Fucking of course. Why would the government release notes that say that they're involved in some sort of conspiracy? So this is by u/OG_ironic_hero. People can't recognize me. Anyone? Help, please. To elaborate, this all started 5 months ago. I set a meetup with my friends from college. We were going to meet up at a bar just to catch up. In my text, they recognized me and knew who I was. Then, a week later, when we set to meet up, I was taking an hour nap after work since we were meeting up at 6, and it was about 4 o'clock. But I slept in on accident since my alarm didn't go off, so I hurried to get ready and rushed over to the bar. When I made it to the bar, I ended up being 20 minutes late, so when I entered, I walked up to them and apologized for being late, but that's when Tony, one of my friends, said, "Who are you?" "Ha, nice one, Tony," I said, thinking it was a joke. "How did you know my name? We never once met you before," Tony said, with the others nodding in agreement. "I'm your friend. We met in college," I said. "No, we didn't. Whoever you are, you need to leave." "I have proof we met, and plus, I set this meetup," I said, taking out my phone to show them texts. "See, I set this up." "That's just a reminder that you have a day off of work. And plus, you're not in our group chat, so you better leave before I get security," Tony said. So I left, and when I got home, I called my childhood friend, talking over video chat about what happened, and even they thought it was a prank until we realized I wasn't in the group chat, so we both thought it was weird and just decided to say our goodbyes and go to sleep. 2 months later, I went to give a surprise visit to my parents, but when I arrived, it happened again. I knocked on the door, and my mom answered and said, "Who are you?" Thinking they were joking, I said, "Good one, Mom." She instantly replied with, "John, we have a stranger at our door saying they're our son." My dad soon came with a bat saying, "Get off our property now." I replied with, "What do you mean? I'm your son." He said, "We don't have a son. We only have a daughter. So unless you have proof, get out now or I will call the cops." I instantly took out my phone, scrolling through my family pics album to then see my parents not in there, so I promptly said, "Oh shit, sorry. I confused with my parents. Your house and their house look similar. I'm very sorry." My dad replied, "Oh, okay, we get the confusion, but still, get out now." I replied with, "Yeah, sorry, bye now." After I left and got in my car, I called my parents' numbers to see what would happen and all I heard was that the number doesn't exist, so I called my sister and the same thing happened. They don't exist. Now it's today and my childhood friend is starting to forget me. Her memories are fading of me, and my ID is starting to disappear. But me and my friend came with an idea for her to remember me. But we have no idea how I can keep my identity. So, to anyone reading this, please help me find out what's going on because I think I'm running out of time. This sounds like one of those ghost stories, and there's even videos out there where they have this like sort of false fictitious thing going on. It's like kind of like mystery theater but different. It's more of a paranormal thing. This one is by you spontaneous _ combust. Movies that end in the middle. Usually movies end at the ending, but there must be some that don't. By this I mean that the main conflict or event is resolved towards the middle or 2/3 of the way through. Basically, that there's an extended epilogue. Usually, the epilogue isn't all that long, probably between 5 to 20 minutes. Are there movies that come to mind? I can't think of any off the top of my head. Somebody says Happy Feet. The movie feels like 3 shorts in a row. Room. Oh, yeah. Let's move on to the next story because we're almost out of time, boys and girls. We're almost out of here. Actually, I do need to start the end score of the show and do my outro. Hope you guys enjoyed Hauntings. Hope you guys enjoyed Reddit Ghost Stories. It was pretty interesting. I hate it when people put those like fictitious things out there though. I want to read real ghost stories. Do you want to build a snowman? No, my hands are already froze. I just want to thank you guys so much once again for tuning in to We Are Paradox Media's Late Night in the Rockies. It was a pleasure having you. Thanks for hanging out with me. Again, Richard, Chris, I hope your power comes back on. Richard, I hope you get over the flu soon. Hopefully you just got that 24-hour bug and it's like snippety snappity. Get right out of there. Thank you to all of our friends on We Are Paradox Media's Facebook, KPNL Radio, Twitter, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and wherever else beyond the Omniverse you've been listening tonight. I had a wonderful time and I can't wait to do it again. Next weekend, we have Midnight Paranormal Society. We also have, once again, story time with me, TessaTNT. That's freaking insane. We had a whole booked month, and I only had 1 story time booked. This is number 2. Next week, number 3 for Christmas. You guys, don't forget, we are all in this together. Together, we can make the world a little better. And together, my friends, we are Paradox Media because without you, there is no us. So, until next time, nighty night, love and light. Please take care of my yous. Have a wonderful holiday week. Hopefully you don't get trampled at the shopping mall or wherever you're going for your goodies. It's better to shop online, I think, but Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Holidays to all of you guys. Take care of my yous.